morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Akil. Here are the headlines. It's another subdued start to today's trade. The Nifty remains range-bound around 11,900. Open interest surges in Indian oil as traders take fresh short positions in net stock futures. SpiceJet is trading with a cut of more than 5% after its earnings missed estimates. The Bimal Jalan-led panel set up to review RBI's economic capital framework may not recommend a large transfer of surplus reserves to the government. That's a Bloomberg Quint exclusive.
Okay, those are the top headlines for you at this hour. Looking at the markets right now, we've started the day on a tepid note. Nifty is down almost 28 points, around the levels of 11,900. Remember, it's been flirting with that premium or discount when it comes to the Nifty futures price. Today is also the penultimate day to the May series. So tomorrow you'll have the May series expiring. Bank Nifty, which has outperformed so far for this series, has also seen cuts of about 0.5% as we speak. 177 points lower for Bank Nifty. Premium on the future side is somewhere about 16 points. But the broader markets are underperforming. Actually, if you look at the mid cap as well as the small cap index, both of them have seen cuts of about 0.5%. And the India volatility index as we speak is just about trading flattish below that mark of 16 right now at about 15.88. One outperformer since yesterday I want to highlight is the Nifty ID index. That's the top sectoral gainer for the day and also yesterday. In fact, if you look at this index, it took support around its 100-day moving average last week, and today it's trading around its 50-day moving average, as you can clearly see on the screen. So 50 DMA is the level where it will be taking support, and it crossed the 100 DMA for last week. But overall, remember the rollovers when we discussed when the May series was starting with Amit Shah, rollovers were looking pretty strong for the Nifty ID index, but it has been an outperformer so far for the May series. It's down almost 2.5%. So watch out for Nifty ID stocks like Infra, TCS, Tata Elxsi have seen a lot of traction since yesterday's trade. In terms of option setup, tomorrow being the expiry, what sort of range one can watch out for? Maximum open interest as of now is at the 12,000 call strike, and on the put side, it is distributed between 11,700, 800. But 100-point range is something which you're getting if you look at very closely the premium of the 11,900 call as well as the put strike. In yesterday's trade also, there was maximum open interest addition seen for 11,900 call and put. And so is the case, at least till now, almost between 4 to 5 lakh shares have been added. So 100 point is the total premium on the call and put side, nearly 100 points. And that's giving you a range of between 11,850 to about 11,950 at least for the day. Let's see how the day pans out. Though, Agam, yesterday in the second half, there was a recovery seen after a bout of profit booking that one saw in the first half of the session.
Fair enough, Navneet. And of course, we're going to see some more consolidation. But let's also take a look at all the stocks which are seeing an increase in open interest and which are looking at a tremendous activity. So we have Indian Oil Corp, as I suggested earlier. PC Jeweler and Hexaware also seeing considerable increase in OI. Hexaware, of course, stands out considering fresh longs building in. HDFC and Divan Housing Finance, among others. In terms of stocks which are unwinding, we do see some traction in NIT Technologies and Manappuram Finance. But say for that, not too much to speak for. All eyes will remain today on Indian Oil Corp. And of course, earnings, let's not forget that, because that is also something that will be important considering we are in the final leg of earnings and we just have 2 more days left for the quarter gone by.
Okay, so those are the stocks which are moving around. But individually, if you look at specific stock futures where we would like to take views from our experts on the show today, one of them is Hexaware, which is doing well. The stock's up about 7% so far in the May series. And in fact, it's crossed the 200-day moving average as of now. Tata Elxsi from the ID pack, the stock is up for the 4th straight day. But for the May series, it has been an underperformer. It's down 2.5%. And the stock also trades below all its key moving averages. And from the MBFC pack, Ujjivan and Equities are your top F&O loser. Business Standard paper has reported that RBI has turned down small finance banks' request of diluting listing norms. Because of that news report, you're seeing both the stocks seeing correction coming by.
All right. Well, on that note, we get in our experts for the day. But before that, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options markets, you can call us on 022-454-04141. Or, of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. Let's get in our experts. Then we have Rahul, Shah, Motilal, Oswal, and Aditya Agarwal of Securities joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us. Aditya, let me start with you. What do you make of the markets right now, and where do we go from here?
Well, if we see Nifty, the Nifty has already, in fact, Nifty and Bank Nifty, both these indices have already seen a sharp rally from lower levels from 11,100 to 11,900 levels. And now I think that the markets will consolidate in a broad range of 11,800 to 12,000 levels. 12,100 will act as a very strong resistance level. We are seeing aggressive call writing. So I'm not expecting that Nifty is going to break 12,000 in very near future. Probably Nifty will now consolidate in the very broad range of 11,800 12,000 levels for next few trading sessions. And thereafter we can see a fresh breakout. Yes, overall structure is bullish, so we are advising our clients to buy on any decline. Any decline of 120 points in Nifty can be used to initiate long positions. But I guess at current levels, risk reward ratio is not in favor to initiate long position, at least in index Nifty and Bank Nifty. So we will wait for some dip to initiate long position. At current levels, we are not advising to initiate long position in Nifty or Bank Nifty futures.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Nifty. Rahul, good morning to you. Would you use these dips to take any position into Nifty or in Bank Nifty?
Hi, good morning. I think Nifty, if you look at, I think it's in a range of 11,850 and at 12,000 levels or so. And if interestingly, if you look at it, I think the technically also what we feel is that the support is at 11,858 in the Nifty levels. And if you also look at the option data, so it suggests that that good amount of writing at 11,700 and 800, and where we see the call option writing at 12,000 and 12,100 levels. So it looks like that it could be in a range bound. But looking at the overall stocks and looking at the heavyweights in the Nifty perspective, I feel that this could be an opportunity to going long by going in long in the call option. So I would advise to go long on 11,900. 6 June call at current price.
Okay, those are well some of your views when it comes to stocks. Indices. When it comes to our experts. But let's talk about stocks too. And then Aditya, I'll come back to you. What stocks are you betting on today?
Well, I have one sell and two buy recommendation. A sell will be in Pyramid Enterprises. Means if we see Pyramid Enterprises, last week stock saw some pullback from lower levels, but again stock failed to sustain above 2,300 levels, and from those levels we have seen some good profit booking in the counter. So overall structure for Pyramid is looking slightly weak. Stock is adding short positions at higher level. 2250, 2255 is a very strong resistance zone. So any pullback in Pyramid Enterprises can be used to initiate short positions. I'm expecting that stock can test 2,100 to 2,080 levels in near future. So at current levels, any pullback can be used to initiate short with a stop loss of 2255 and target of 2,100. My buy recommendation will be in IndusInd Bank and ITC. If we see IndusInd Bank, after good pullback, stocks in last 2-3 days, stock has seen some cool off, but overall structure is looking bullish. And today we are from lower levels, we are seeing some buying interest in the counter. In last 10-15 minutes, stock has seen a good pullback of 15-20 minutes. So if there is any cool off, stock comes in the zone of 1620, 1615, around those levels one can buy with a stop loss of 1595 and target will be 1660 to 1665. ITC also, if we see, then stock has seen a good correction from 310, 308 odd levels to 285, 290, and that is a 285, 290 is a very strong support zone. And today we are seeing from lower levels that fresh long positions are getting initiated. So from current levels, if we see, then risk reward ratio is clearly in favor of buyers. With a stop loss of 282, one can go long at current levels with target of 305 to 308 levels.
Okay, 2 long and 1 short call coming in from Aditya. Interestingly, Rahul, you have a contra call on IndusInd where Aditya has given a long call on that. You have a short on IndusInd and a long call on JSW Steel.
So I think JSW, obviously we saw post results, we saw some unwinding, and then on Monday and yesterday we saw some good longs built up in the stock. So I personally feel that that stock has a support at 288. So with that stop loss, one can go long with a target of 305. Now coming to IndusInd, I think we saw a good run up post results. The stock rallied, I think 11-12%, and I think we saw some cool off yesterday. So I feel that the stock is at near term the top edge could be the 1650 or odd levels, and then there's the other banking financial stocks have been still showing a good strength. So I think the rally could be short-lived in IndusInd Bank, and we see that a lot of unwinding have been also taken place in yesterday's trade. So I think risk to reward in shorting, I would advise going IndusInd Bank with a stop loss of 1636 and target of 1560.
Okay, interesting calls coming in from our experts, especially on IndusInd Bank. But let's move in and talk about some of the stocks that we want to address. And first one is Hexaware Technologies. Well, Hexaware, of course, has had its own set of challenges. But that said, we are looking at some amount of traction today. It's rollover standing at 50%. More importantly, it's testing the 200 daily moving average, and that is the key takeaway here. So. Pardon me, it isn't actually, it's actually well above it, but well, there is a little bit of a, I would say, convergence between 50 and 200 DMA, as you can see. It's up 3% in 3 months, so it really hasn't done too much, but you can see that there have been, well, significant gyrations and has eventually started to see a little bit of an up move, especially in the month of May. It's currently at 365, one of the top gainers when it comes to open interest today. What do we do with Hexaware Technologies? Rahul, let me take this one up with you. How would you address Hexaware now?
I think we've been seeing a good amount of buying yesterday and today's session in the entire IT space, leading by the large caps and obviously followed by the mid cap stocks. So coming to Hexaware, I think the stock has been very range bound, and after a long time, after consolidation, the stock is about 362. So my sense is I think I would go long on Hexaware with the risk to reward quite favorable with a small stop loss of 361 and target could be 376.
Okay, from one IT company to the other, Tata Elxsi has been moving higher. In fact, the stock's up for the 4th straight day. It's been trading above all its key moving averages. And remember, but for the May series, the stock has underperformed. It's down almost 2.5%. Currently, the stock's trading around the levels of 900 with gains of nearly 2%. Let's just pull up the futures and see if there is any sort of build-up which is coming. Yes, rollovers are looking pretty good, almost 60% there. And for the June series, open interest is up nearly 7 to 8%. Aditya, if I could come to you, Tata Elxsi up for the 4th straight day, what would you advise? Would you take any trade here?
Well, if we see Tata Elxsi, this has been the most underperforming counter in the whole IT pack. I mean, so from 1050, it is on one side correction, it has corrected towards 800, 850 odd levels. So from current levels also, if you see it has a multiple resistance level, 925, 930 is the first resistance zone, above that 950 is the next resistance zone. So risk reward ratio clearly is not in favor of buyers in these counters, as the stock has multiple resistance level on higher side. But yes, structure for short term is looking bullish. If it comes in the zone of 895, 890, around those levels, one can initiate long positions with a stop loss of 878. On higher side, 925 will be the first target. If that is broken, then 948 to 950 will be the next target in the counter.
Okay, another stock that I reckon that many would want to talk about is Motherson Sumi. It's been a tough bunch of quarters for the company, there's no doubt about that. And we have seen a significant correction in Motherson Sumi from the levels of 165, 170 coming off to about 120. In fact, a few days ago, it was actually testing 110 too, if I'm not mistaken. There you have it. That's the view coming in. So it has corrected 23% in the last 6 months. There certainly is a lot of weakness, but what is also true, it's down 17% in the last 1 month. What is also true is that a lot of long-term investors hold Motherson Sumi in their portfolios. So I'm sure a lot of them would be, well, inclined to hedge their position, considering it is a long-term bet. Rahul, let's talk about this one. Firstly, how would you approach Motherson Sumi from a trading perspective? And if you were holding a very large amount of Motherson Sumi in cash, how would you hedge your position?
See, I think looking at the Motherson Sumi, I think the stock has been in a falling knife since last 6 months. And if you look at it, has continuously on a lower bottoms. So I personally feel that it has a good support at I think 112 or odd levels in near terms. So I think and the price action, if you look at the upside, also looks very capped. So I don't think so. Basically, if I pull out the chart and if I look at it, I think 135 could be the resistance for the stock in a near term. So now coming to the person holding for it, holding the stock, and if he wants to hedge, then I think the best is to buy puts and keep it rather than doing anything. So, or if he doesn't want to hedge it through buying puts or something, I think he should keep a stop loss of 112 and continue to hold on to it.
Okay, that's Madison Sumi. The stock was up in yesterday's trade and today also just about trading flattish. Remember, some short covering rally definitely seen for this one after it came out with the numbers which were operationally weak. Let's address one of the top losers for the day in terms of F&O stocks. So that's Ujjivan as well as Equitas. When the markets opened today, the stocks were down between 4 to 5%. Some intraday recovery definitely seen. Ujjivan is down 3.5% as we speak, and Equitas is also down nearly 4% in trade. There is Business Standard report which suggests that RBI has turned down small finance banks' request to dilute listing norms, and back of which that's what the street is assigning the losses that we're seeing on both these stocks today. Aditya, in mild bit of recovery in the intraday session, but would you take a bet on both these stocks?
Well, for intraday to take a call at current levels is a bit difficult, as a stop loss will not come as stock. Both these stocks have seen a good amount of recovery. But if we see the overall view for the counters, both these stocks are stuck in a range. On higher side, if we see, then 350, 355 is a strong resistance band for Ujjivan. And from those levels only we have seen the profit booking. But yes, on lower side, 330, 328 is a support zone. So if in a stock corrects by another 5-6 rupees Ujjivan, then it will be a good bet with a stop loss of 328. One can buy. But on higher side, target will be strictly 350, 355. Around those levels, one should look to book profit. And similarly, if we see Equitas also, then 140 is a very strong resistance band, which stock has not been able to break in last couple of months now. Yesterday, stock tested those levels, but it closed below that. And today, again, we are seeing some selling pressure on the counter. So in both these counters, we are seeing some long unwinding pressure, some short position getting built up. But I won't advise to go short at both these stocks. Stock structure is looking bullish. So any decline towards any decline of 3-4%, one can use both these counter to initiate long positions.
All right. That's the view coming in on Ujjivan Financial Services and Equitas Holdings. Now, the other stock that I also wanted to address was Indian Oil Corp, because it is very active today. And we've seen some amount of traction in that counter, especially when it comes to an increase in open interest. So if I actually pull up Indian Oil Corp right now, it's down 3%. Rollovers are looking all right at 45%, not too much to speak for there. But if we can also pull up how it has done over the last, 1 odd month, especially given the movements of crude oil, there you have it. That's actually up 4.8%. It has, I would say, largely been range bound, but there also is certainly a lot of accumulation in OI today. A little higher than usual, I would say, and it's up 3%. It's up 11% over the past 3 months. At 160, Aditya, how would you approach Indian Oil Corp? And if you were to compare this to perhaps something like a BPCL or an HPCL, how would you approach this entire sector?
Well, if we see all these three counters, then they have seen a good amount of pullback from lower levels. And now all these three stocks are trading near the resistance zone. If we see IOC, then 160, 165 is the resistance zone. And from those levels only, we have seen a correction in today's trading session. And yes, we are seeing some short position getting built up in today's today in IOC. But again, if we see at lower levels, then 155, 154 will be the support zone. Overall structure for the counters are looking good. And with the fall in crude price, we can see some further rally in the counter. So I would like to go long in this counter at current level. So any dip towards 155, one can initiate long with a stop loss of 150. On higher side, 165, 166 will be the first target, and if that is broken, 170, 172 will be the next target. So structure is looking bullish. So any decline can be used to initiate long position in all the three OMCs counter.
Okay, on dips, you can look to buy IOCs, the advice coming in. Let's start addressing our viewer queries now. On YouTube, Tarun Arora has written to us. He's got 11,600 put for the 6th June expiry, for which he's paid a premium of about 23 rupees. The current premium, I think, has fallen because we are in an uptrending market, and the premium has now fallen to about 16 to 17 rupees. Rahul, if I could come to you, what would your advice be, considering you also suggested to buy the 11,900 call for the next series? So somebody who's bought a put of about 11,600, should they close their position or wait it out?
I would advise to close their position at the current level. Look at the structure, looks like that the market's going to go higher a little bit more to 12,100 or odd levels in the next series. But in case if it still wants to hold, then I think the stop loss could be 11,848, and he can hold the put options. If it falls below, then I think it could continue.
Right. Moving on to, well, a few other queries. All right. I have one more on me. All right. So the next query comes from Rajesh Rao, and he wants a view on the 360 SBI call, which he's bought at around 2. Can we pull up SBI, perhaps this specific call, and see what's going on with this? Now we do know the kind of strength that we've seen in SBI of late. It's currently at 10, so well, Rajesh is clearly making a significant profit considering he bought this call at 2. And the question is, should he book profits or trail stop losses? Rahul, I come back to you. Your view on SBI and your advice to Rajesh.
If we look at the entire set of corporate banks, I think they've done fantastically well, and I think SBI was a laggard in last couple of series. So I think it started just catching up, and I think it has broken out from 3,438 level was the last high, and which broke, and I think the stock is in the new territory. So my sense is that I think SBI can still go higher, and it can go to 370 or odd levels in the next series. So one can keep a stop loss of 342 and continue to hold on to SBI.
Okay, you can look to hold on to SBI. We've got a query on 31,400 put strike from Vikram, but I think I will wait by for his reply. We don't know which series is it. Meanwhile, I'll just take Berger Paints query. Ardendu writes to us on YouTube, and he wants a view on Berger Paints stocks. So, Aditya, on the charts, what would you suggest? Is there any position that can be taken, or what sort of levels one should watch in terms of downside or upside for Berger Paints, which is currently trading around the mark of 302?
Well, the stock is looking definitely weak. Means on higher side, 315 was the resistance. The stock tested those levels 2 days back, and from those levels, we are continuously seeing some selling pressure on the counter. Stock is adding short position. So I'm expecting that on lower side, the stock can test 294, 290 levels. So any pullback again can be used to short sell at current levels. Also, one can go short in Berger Paint with a stop loss of 306. On lower side, 295 and 290 will be the targets.
Okay.
All right. Okay. One more query on the Bank Nifty. Now, well, we are not really certain if what sort of expiry it is, but Vikram Gundas says that he has a 31,400 put at 30. It is a premium that actually confuses me as to which expiry this is. But the question is, what should I do? Because the 31,400, put, at least as far as the May one is concerned, is at 136, which means he's making a windfall at this point in time. Okay, let's just put this up with experts. Aditya, I'll come back to you. How would you go about the 31,400 put? Let's not assume the expiry. What is your view when it comes to this particular level going ahead?
Well, if we see Bank Nifty, then Bank Nifty is looking positive, but yes, some profit booking means we are seeing some profit booking in some of the large cap private sector bank, which is dragging Bank Nifty down. But I don't think so. Bank Nifty is going to see a big correction, probably 31,300, 250. That is a strong support zone. So I would advise to book profit in Bank Nifty put option. If he's into profit of 100 odd bucks in Bank Nifty put option, then he should look to book profit at current levels, as we can see some pullback ahead of expiry. So at current levels, booking profit and put option would be a good strategy. And if there is any decline, then again one can look to buy call option, but booking profit and put option would be a good strategy at current levels.
Bank Nifty right now trading with cuts of about 200 points as we speak. Let's take Veena's query. Veena's got Adani Enterprises and PC Jewelers, and she wants to know what can be done ahead of the numbers. Okay, we're not going to tell you fundamentally what can be expected from the numbers. We'll just get you a technical check. She's holding PC Jewelers at 132 and Adani Enterprises at 171, and I think both the stocks are below Veena's buy price. Rahul, what would you suggest to book out? She's making losses on both, or should she stay put? And if you have any strategy with regard to both these stocks, PC Jewelers and Adani Enterprises?
I think PC Jeweler, if I take it, I think the stock has been very volatile and a lot of news in the stocks. So my sense is, I think if I look at the chart, I think I don't see any. I think I would advise her to book a loss near term. The stock has broken the near term support of 96 levels and all, and so it could further fall from here. So I would advise to go exit in the position. Coming to Adani Enterprise, the stock has a decent rally in last few days, and I think the stock is now supported 148.50. So I would advise with a strict stop loss of 148.50, she could hold it, and if it breaks 148.50, then I would advise her to exit.
Okay, guys, we've run out of time on the show, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Rahul and Aditya, for joining us and taking us to their views. For more updates on the F&O space, you can also check our website, bloombergqueen.com, specifically the futures and options pages.
Okay, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Queen for more news and updates.